Okay, great. Well, my very brief talk, I'll keep it brief, is about like a mechanism that I think eventually could be slotted in to the tree, or could be used, or is already being used independently by itself. So I think I told you earlier we have these different technology sections at Foresight. One, for example, our Longevity Biotech sections. We have the technical workshops. We have seminars that are like virtually going on a monthly basis in each field. Our fellows and so forth. But like one thing that I'm really, really excited about that kind of like got launched, I guess, about 2 years ago is the Longevity Prize. It's not quite as big as the recently launched Longevity X Prize. That was a really fantastic feat for the field. But it basically came about 2 years ago. There was a longevity-focused funding round on Gitcoin, which is like a decentralized kind of like hub for funding longevity technology, for funding basically like public goods projects within the crypto ecosystem. They did a longevity round to fund more longevity stuff. And this one got about 6,800 contributors that said, okay, this is a good, like a longevity prize would be a great thing to fund. And so then it got backed by folks like Vitalik and a few others. I think the leaderboard is over here. They backed it, and it, through like a quadratic funding mechanism, this was then the one that I think received about 300K afterwards. Again, it's not like a ton of money, but it's enough to do the purpose of the specific prize. And so rather than giving like a really big prize that can only be won like once or something, this is more like a prize pool that we now again distribute very collectively in a decentralized way, almost as a bounty system. And so VitaDAO reached out to us and a few other orgs to kind of like set this prize up. We reached out to a few of the mentors. And so now we launched the first prize, which was basically on like, what is a new hypothesis in the longevity field that you currently think is undervalued? We got a ton of contributions. And I think we gave out, I think 15K, 20K for basically just a one-pager. Give us one explanation of what's currently undervalued in the longevity field. And so it's mostly like this kind of like pretty decentralized mechanism by wherever if you see something that you think like, hey, there should be a prize on this. We should incentivizing someone on this right now. You can just launch a prize on this page. We have currently a Biomarkers of Aging Challenge going on, a Longevity Funding Innovation Prize, and then the Million Molecule Challenge, the Elegance Lifespan Prize. And so those are only a few of them. But I think ultimately, I'm really excited about that because recently there's been like two really interesting roadmaps that were launched. One is by the Amaranth Foundation. Who has seen this before? Okay, quite a few of you. But they laid out a few priorities that I think are like, really, like it's just a great laundry list, I think. And you can click on any of them, and then they kind of like show you the field. So it's also like a really great design for it. So they came out with the Bottlenecks of Aging roadmap. You should actually absolutely check it out if you're interested in the field. One of them that was on there as a priority is, for example, replacing damaged tissues and organs. Another one is advancing biopreservation technology. Both of them, I think, really interesting. And Aaron talked about at least one of them earlier. And then around the same time, another roadmap was launched from the Longevity Biotech Fellowship. And this one is also up on their website. And it has 3 different pathways that they basically highlight for people to focus on. One is replacement. So you see the overlap here with the Amaranth one, even though they have slightly different focus within replacement. And again, biostasis also has the overlap with the Amaranth Foundation bottleneck. So, those are like pretty, like, let's say I think like some of the, even longevity, I think, as a whole has exploded really quite over the last 5 years, but those are still pretty niche areas within longevity that I think we should be making more progress on. As you can tell, they're also on the tech tree. And so what we are now wanting to do is basically like launch new prizes in these areas. And my ask to you guys would be, if you're interested in either replacement or biostasis, are there specific areas that you think a smaller prize of like 20 to 50K could actually make a difference? That's my challenge that I put on the collaboration doc. We would love to do another prize in this area, and we would love to hear from you what you think is useful. I think ultimately, if I envision like this in like the next 3 years or something, ideally we have these kind of different areas that you think you want to be working on, or like that funders get excited about, and they can just easily like put a prize, like a crowdfunded prize, on one of those nodes. So ideally, the longevity, like this tech tree, becomes this kind of like API through which people kind of can explore undervalued areas in different fields, can launch prizes, different people can apply to the prizes online, people can up the prizes, and we can actually get like more of a kind of like more of a coordinated effort going to hit many of the kind of like target goals that are currently still outstanding. And so this is like somewhat of just like a kind of like interface that makes the field a bit easier accessible. Even though I have to say the 2 roadmaps that I recently published are also super accessible, so they're definitely not like the clunky old roadmaps that you know of. But I think ideally, we get this kind of coordinated, crowdsourced and crowd-funded project going that really funds progress in the field across the board. And different people can chip in and collaborate on the areas that they care about most. Great. I will finish by saying I put this here on the thing that I would be interested in talking about in a breakout, which is we have the funding mechanism here as the prize. Current prizes, I think, often take too long to give out. And I would love to hear from you. Do you have any specific areas that you think we should be doing more prizes on? This can be in biostasis or replacement or tool development, but it can also be in other areas. Those are just a few that I named here. And I would love to hear from you guys in a breakout. Great. Well, that was my talk. I don't know if you have any questions, comments. Good.